Okay, so we want to work on a website, which is this one here. Looking at the website in terms of everything that's in it and how detailed you want to be with it, is a range. But in terms of looking at the layout, the website we can see is broken into like a whole bunch of columns. But does it really need to be broken into this many columns? We could say that, okay, so we need the content here to be in one space. So I can say that this block needs to be here, sure. This block here needs to be here, and this middle block needs to be here. These blocks in here in between, do they need to be in there? Well, if I want to separate out this nav block, right, so this nav block is, let's say, like this. Yeah, okay, cool. Turn the opacity down. Right. So it's really taking up this chunk here. And I want to keep them separate. So do I need all these chunks in between, or can I just say 1, 2, space 3, 4, or can I just say 1, 2, 3, and then put these on opposite ends? Probably could do that, to be perfectly honest. We could probably simplify it down to saying that with our rectangles, okay, yeah, with our rectangles, we have I can't pre-do it, but anyway, let me say one column here. Okay, I don't know why the fill's that color, but that color. And 50%. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. Right, and then move it across, and there's one there, and then I'll change this one to a separate color because it just looks like a big wall of blue now. Right. So we could probably go with a simple that if this logo and this navigation are going to be want it to sit nice, then fine, we can sort that out. But you can actually put, even though this is one block, I can put two things in it, and then I can tell them to line left and right. I can virtually, with the logo though, say, well, if I can put this, thank you. Oh, wow, okay, fine. Lock. This logo, I can say, it's really trying to test me, isn't it? Lock. There we go. Right. Just like for grace of background, I'm going to cry. Right, okay. They can actually literally go over the top of each other. It'll just be in the order of the HTML where these go. But let's try and get back to it. So we're after something that's looking like this, of course. So I've got Grid Video 2. I've already got an images file there, and I've got my logo and my t-shirt ready to go. Because file structure is important, so I'm going to go new file in there, index.html, because that's whatever we call a home page, is always called index. And a new file, which is going to be called styles.css. Okay. So let's just zoom this in a wee bit for you guys. So doc type HTML, declaring that it's an HTML document. Head, this is what I covered before, is our invisible content. This goes in the tab, which is great. And then this is what links. So having a link a relationship with that link is that it's the style sheet, and where we make a hyperlink reference to, or where do we locate that file, is just recall the file, because as you can see, they're saved in the same place, so we don't need to tell it go inside the images folder and load a file. We just say, well, it's in the same place, just there. Right, so we have body div main, div class equals main. So we're going to have a nav, and they had home gallery contact ahref equals, I'm just going to use index because it's the only page we got, home gallery contact. Okay. The logo image source equals images logo, and I'm going to give it a class so I can do something with it. Class logo, funnily enough, who would have thought it. This box here, I could go div class equals container quite easily. I could do that, but because there's already section is basically it's a pre-built thing as a container, might as well use it. Right, I'll leave it as that. I'll get into how this products things is going to go soon, and then we're going to go from there. I'll chuck one in. Okay, so capitals. Ooh. H2 T name. This is actually the T name. How ironic. No, okay. Image source equals images T, and then H2 equals $20. Okay. And then there would be 3 of them, but I'll put one in there. We'll kind of go from there. And just a space, just for our brains. Okay, so let's view this as is. And it's just kind of this general rundown mess. Right, so HTML background. Well, no, it's linear color, isn't it? Linear dash color. No. Let's try background gradient. No. Let's look it up because it's been a while and I'm rusty. CSS background gradient. There we go. Top to bottom. Ah, there we go. Background image, linear gradient. Okay. Linear gradient. Okay, and that went red to that. So my top one in my image is my very dark grey. So if I turn off this other hoo-ha, grab my eyedropper, and click at the top. My color is that one there. So that with my hashtag, of course, and to black. Right. See if that worked. It did. Okay. So I'm then going to say margin 0 pixels, text decoration none, padding none, Right, okay. And then I'll just put a default text and everything. So I'm going to put font dash family is a century Gothic. Okay. So dot main is going to have a column, no, display grid first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Display grid dash template columns equals. So the thought was 3. So I had 10%, 80%, 10%. So I'm going to say 10 VW, 80 VW, 10 VW. Now vertically, just use this. 1 for our nav, 1 for this, and we'll see whatever. Actually, I'm going to leave it because if I tell it to go down further, Grids will just make it go down further. Right. So let's say nav as a background color of white. I want to say grid dash columns equals, well, I've got column line 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So column, I just go span 4. Grid column span. I'll look that up because I really do want to use it on occasion. CSS Grids span. Grid row start. Grid column, just span 2. Alright. Grid column, span 4. Let's see what happens there. There you go. Yep, it's done 4. I'm going to say dot logo. Grid column /2. See if it likes this. So it's dropped the next row down. And I'm going to say grid dash row equals 1. That'll be 1/2, sorry. And this as well. Because it doesn't naturally think to overlay things. Okay, let's open this in, whoops. Let's open this in brackets. Sorry, it's open in brackets. Let's open it up in nightly to see what's going on. Okay, so we can do our grid overlay. Since home hasn't gone into the 2, fine. I'll be more specific then. 1/4. Okay, so I'm figuring the logo's underneath it then. So that would be this here. Take the logo. It was red last, so did this one first, then did that one next. There we go. Okay. Right. So this. Okay. So we want to align the item this to the center. So I'm going to go self align self. Yeah, align self center. That should stop it being a big. There you go. Okay. Now, run into an interesting scenario. So if I go text dash align, right? Okay, it's there. I've got some scroll. Not quite sure where that's from, but I will figure that out soon. So our let's just change our logo to be width 100% of the box it's in. So if I go back here, sorry, no, I'm not in nightly. Ugh, sorry, my bad. Let's jump over to nightly. We can see here that's the grid box, and now it fills that box. It goes there. Now the word here, nav, these three links. These links are not in the grid. So like in this grid system, sorry, in the grid layout, it's just inside the box. So the nav strip itself, the whole nav strip, that's inside the grid. I've said go the whole length, but these words here aren't. I know this is a width of 10, so I could say nav a margin right's going to get all of them. I can put a class on the last one. I can put a class on this one and tell it to do that, or I can give this a how do I do this? Alright. Right, so then it's already in there. Need to go here. Margin dash right. It's 10 view width is what we had spaced up here. So I'm just going to reuse that. So there you go. It's sitting in there pretty. The nav A from itself can have a margin of 2, let's just say 2 VW and a top bottom of 0 pixels. So this will space them from each other by like 2% of the screen width, and then this will also do the right hand side of 10 though. You can see there's a wee gap there, which that gap there too is just way too big. Yep. And I'll say color black. Nav a hover color red, just to make it pretty. Right, okay, there we go. So now we want to start dealing with this. Now these here, what if I do a grid gap? Grids dash gap, say 1 VW. 1%. Alright, so it does the gap here, but it won't do it on the right. Okay. Right, so we'll make this slightly smaller than the template to push it in. So let's have a look at our... I'm such an egg. That was a gap there. It was inside. It was actually in the same. My bad, my bad. Right, so logo. Where have we got logo? Down here. Grid column, actually 2/3. Right, now I've told it to 100%, which we don't want 100%. So let's try 10%. This seems healthier. Right, and it's set there. Okay, great. And I might want to just, let's have a look at, yeah, we had a bit of a head gap there. So I will say, let's put a little bit of margin. Yeah. Let's put something around the body. Margin 2%. And that doesn't go all the way to the edge now. No, don't like that. Don't like that. Get rid of that. Okay, so logo, we'll put margin. There we go. So this sit nicer. Okay, so we're all happy. We can see if I go here. This is by percentage. Can change my size and everything, but we can see there's a grid layout. That's sitting in the grid. So the grid will actually become as big as the element that's filled it in here, particularly with the column height, because, not sorry, the column height, the row height, because I didn't specify a row height that's required. So it's just going to say, well, the row height for this needs to be that. When you do this align self, the content in here will then not want to stretch this white strip to fill the whole box, but by default it wants to fill the whole box. Okay, right, we're starting to make some more inroads. Right, section, backgrounds, color, RG, GBA, because it's transparent, 255, 255, 255. And it's about 70% there, so points. Okay. Grid dash column. It is 2/3, and it is now also should just automatically fall into line. Right. Why is the background color not come on? Oops. There we go. This t-shirt's obviously huge. The product name and T name and what have you. There's a bit of an issue. So what I'd probably, and how many columns we're going to have, we need to tweak this very slightly because I want this to be kind of one group if I want in there, and I say I want these to be at least X distance wide. So I'll show you how we can kind of go about that. So we need to tweak this very slightly because I want this to be kind of one group, if you will. So I could quite easily chuck it in an unordered list and have a list item, and then I will say, here you go. So I shift that up, tab that in. Right. I'm going to have a class of products. I call it T's, whatever. I'll call it T's. Now each list item is obviously going to be a T, which you could give them classes, so that way you can identify them, or you can use the nth child, which is basically saying first child, second child, because it's a child of the unordered list. So we'll chuck in, I don't know, like 6 T's or something. There's a few in there. Right, so in the style sheet, we're going to go to section. Oop. Display. You are also now a grid. So I've got a grid inside a grid now. I know, it's very matrix-like. Or Inception. Okay, display grid. Grid dash template columns. Let's go. Right, this is where we're going to do something that's a little bit more tricky, and I'm just trying to remember how to do it off the top of my head. Repeat. For comma min max bracket. Right. Should I do that now? Yeah, why not? So I'll check if I've written that in the correct way. But so I'm going to have a minimum distance of, say, 200 pixels, a fixed unit, and a maximum of 1 fraction. Right, and yeah, that works. That works. Okay. So I'm going to say dot t equals, sorry. Have I got only one H1 in there? Yes, I do. All right. The H1, so if I'm going in here now, I've got a section grid now. You can see a section grid. So yes, I have to figure something out there, how that lines up. Yep, I'll work that out. I'll work that out later. Right. Okay, so I want to put the product name there, and then I want to put all the T stuff in there. So, column. So grid dash col equals 1/2. Right. Dot T. Oh no. That should have been the grid. My bad. Okay, so explaining. So we've got, just shrink all these arrows up. So we've got this section. which is our box. It's our big box. And we're quite happy to have a heading at the top there. It's this unordered list where I want to kind of lay these out quite nicely. So if I tell this thing to be the grid, I can place that in a grid, and then I can play this whole box in a grid of all the list items. But I want my individual list items to be nice because I've got things inside them. So I'm going to make that the grid, and then these list items can then sit in the grid. That's what we do. Right, okay. So save, and I'm going to say to this T also list style none, because I don't want the little false. There was these dot things. I should get rid of them. Anyhow, we will figure this out. Right. So I'm going to say dot T first dash child. I think that's how you write it, or just first child. I have to look it up. First child. CSS first child. Oh, there we go. So I go T, that, no space, first dash child, there we go. Column, grids. I don't even think I need to do this. I really don't think I need to do this. I think I just need to tell the T's, dot T, was it T or the T's? I think it's T's. T's, oh. Image, width, 100% of the box you're in. That should solve a lot of problems. Why are you so massive? That section, UL. Did I stuff something up? Ah. There we go. So, they're all sitting in there. T's list item, text, align center. Oh, so it's all set center, so they're all set there. I can say in here, grid dash gap of 2%. So fraction of the whole thing. This is x1 FR, and leave our minimum to fit 4 of 15%. No, that's not working. Oh, because it's shrinking with 150 pixels. Right, I want to see, is there a grid gap? I think I stuffed this up. Or have I? Tease. No, I haven't. Ah, see, look, there's a gap. Right. Let's just very quickly look up CSS Grids. Grids dash template dash columns min max. See if that's a good one. The developer's normally pretty good. Fine, let's look up repeat min max. Repeat min max. Okay. Repeat number min max. Yep. Repeat auto fit. That's my issue. So not put a number there. I put auto fit. Let's see. There you go. So look, you can see now it jumps up and down the sizes. Very nice. So there you go. This is a CSS layout where I can, that's the end of the HTML. Okay. So I can say to the HTML, be 100, sorry. Height 100 ph. It'll sort that. Okay, so there's that scroll. This obviously we can put some margining, some spacing and some bits and pieces, but this, I just chuck a quick bit of margining in. Section, margin top, bottom, I don't know, 5 ph, left, right, 0 px. And in the section itself, I'll put padding top, bottom of 10, 2 ph, and left, right of 0 pixels. And click out of it. There you go. So you can see some of the spacing there, but the joy this is with resizing for device. So what it says here is effectively the minimum size will be 200 pixels, but the maximum size is going to be one fraction. And so basically once it goes to exceed a fraction, it will decide this. So I could say the maximum size would be a set number, but it'll basically say, I'll fit these 200 pixels in here nicely, but if I'm going to stretch these out, so let's shrink these up a bit. So these can exceed 200 pixels, but every time, okay, so they can be as big as you want. Okay, so, but as big as that. As soon as I start to stretch this out, say this image here is 390 pixels. As soon as I stretch it out big enough so it can fit the image to now drop down to, instead of being 400 pixels, one image, it's going to say, well, I can fit 200 pixels in, and that's the min. So that's when it drops it down to 2. And it stretches the images up big, and then once they go above a certain size where it says, well, I could fit 2 images in, that's going to be 590 pixels. But as soon as I try and drag it and they say, oh, it's going to be 2 images, oh, that's going to be 605 pixels or 601 pixels. So, well, actually, I can put 3 200 pixel images in. And that's how that works. So, getting this to auto resize everything, that's this slightly intense line here, but that there is semi-U13-ish type stuff in terms of responsive web, but it's very, very basic with a little bit of fluffing here. But there you go.